Oh, that's a long time, isn't it? So I've been gone a long time, and yeah, this is gonna be interesting to explain. I have been gone a long time because, well, this project was, less than feasible in a lot of ways. As you can probably tell by the runtime, which as of saying this, I have no idea what the final runtime will be. It is not a short it will be my longest video I've ever made for a good long time. And it'll also be the only video that I'll probably release until I would say the ending of this year. I have been working on this since May, and it's kind of crazy. I can't imagine looking back at that now and being, oh, this will be such an easy project. I'll finish it in a few weeks, and then I'll have a great video out on my channel. No, it has now been 6 months, and it is still, at the point of recording this, not out. Yeah, that's, pre-script Amethyst here. And adding to the suffering, I also don't know when this video will release. At the time of recording this, I'm hoping I can get it out sometime in November of 2024, but hell, who knows? The amount of delays and difficulties in this project, which you'll find out about soon, will inevitably delay this thing even further. If the biggest one that I'm hoping doesn't happen, corruption, happens, then it might never come out and none of you'll ever hear this, but let's pray for the best. And finally, the last thing needed to mention for Prescript Amethyst is that this video will switch between 4 or 5 different versions of Super Mario Star Road. As you'll find out later why, but there will be footage from the PC port predominantly, and then there'll be versions from the original emulated, the N64 version of the game, and more. There was more than my fair share of difficulties, and I had to end up resorting to playing this multiple times throughout multiple different versions. Ugh, it's this again. A time where my unparalleled dedication is screwing me over. You might ask what I mean by this, and I mean, well, this video shouldn't exist. This video was a product of me failing over and over again until something good came out of it. Or, well, I hope it's good. This video has taken so much of my time that I'm scared to look at my screen time trackers. A video that took the life out of me to make. It's done. It's been a labor of love and passion for the craft from the beginning. This video was incredibly hard to make. The hardest non-animated video I've ever had to make. And well, that's saying something. This video had a lot of issues, like I mentioned in the update video, but here it is. Well, in a minute. I want to go into those issues a bit. For anyone who doesn't care about the technical stuff and just wants to see the review/analysis, go to the timestamp on screen. I'll see you there. For the rest of you, here's what went wrong. To go into what my setup is, I am using a Valve Steam Deck LCD with a cheap dock and more peripherals than I actually need. So the specs of the device that actually matter to this video are the 16 gigs of LPDDR5 memory, a 7nm APU called Aerith. This APU contains a CPU and GPU together on one chip, almost like an SoC for any smartphone users. This APU contains an AMD Zen 2 2.4 to 3.5 GHz CPU and an RDNA 2 1.6 GHz GPU. Unfortunately, with this GPU, my dreams of becoming an ultra-rich crypto miner are ruined. The GPU is roughly equivalent to an NVIDIA GeForce 1050 Ti, which from my experience is fairly accurate. Now that we have this established, we need to talk about the operating systems I use. Yes, operating systems with an S. I used the native SteamOS on the Steam Deck for a bunch of games, but since it's an Arch-based operating system, so not all games or emulators will work. So, to make this video, I was dual booting into Windows 10 specifically. I'm using an external Samsung SSD to do this. Now, this might seem fine, however, it's not. Using Windows on anything that isn't a fairly fast SSD or the Steam Deck is not a good experience. Windows on the Steam Deck is not a good experience. Windows on the Steam Deck is like Todd Howard saying it just works. It doesn't. Here's why. Remember how I said I have too many peripherals? Well, this has something to do with it. I have 2 external hard drives plugged in for my other files, and I have 2 USB hubs, an SSD, a microphone, a webcam, a keyboard, and a mouse. These things are all used in production of my videos, other than the webcam. There isn't much I could sacrifice. Now, with all this out of the way, here's how everything broke. Also forgot to mention that when using Windows, more specifically Windows 10, I will not be able to use the 3.5 GHz boost mode. Meaning, I am incredibly limited with what I can have open at the same time. So then, when it comes to having an emulator and OBS open, the system will freeze and blue screen. This is all because of the limited CPU, GPU, and RAM. The RAM isn't really a problem if you're recording anywhere below lossless quality, but recording below losses for me would make the game laggier, so I had to record losslessly. RAM ended up being a big problem. Now, there were other problems than that. The emulators ended up being a fucking migraine. I initially used Project 64 3.0 and a console-compatible copy of SMSR. Side note, from here, I am only going to say SMSR unless it's from an older draft of the script. And a side note. The reason I had to use a console-compatible version of the game is because the original would not work on PJ64 3.0. I tried tons of settings and configuration files and everything else I could get my hands on, and even with this, I could not get the game to launch for the life of me. I said, okay, I played the game on the real Nintendo 64 anyway, it's what I'm used to, and I started to record the video. This is when I did my first Super Mario Star Road stream on May 4th, 2024. This stream is some of the only original footage of this that I still have. The explanation here is because the hard drive I was recording onto was extremely unreliable when it comes to any kind of video content. I stored my videos in a folder on that drive, and slowly-ish all of them corrupted. So, without my knowledge, all the footage I was gaining was corrupted shortly after recording it. That sucks and all, but I didn't find out until a couple of days later when almost 3/4 of my footage was already gone. After this, I changed the folder and took a break for a while, trying not to let it get into my head, worrying about this whole thing. My break ended up being almost 2 weeks long. When I came back, I decided to change emulators, and I ended up changing to the Parallel emulator, which is RetroArch based. This emulator helped a lot. It was easy to configure, and I was able to set it up with OBS to record it. But when I came time to get footage for this video, I hit record and say, why? Why is it so laggy? My frustration only continued when none of the configurations I tried did anything to alleviate the lag. I realized then and there I'll have to record the video losslessly to subside the lag. So I did, and it worked for a while. A decent while, but Murphy's Law is a bitch. One session of the game, and it froze. I tried some stuff to unfreeze it. Second, I tried to open Task Manager to close the emulator. Windows blue screened. I rebooted and went to check everything out, and to my horror, my save, the game, and all of my re-recordings were all corrupted. I was contemplating even finishing this project at this point. It had already been about a month and a half, and this was taking much longer than I wanted it to. In the end, I decided to try again with a few more issues. I finally decided to play my final attempt on SteamOS on the Steam Deck without any peripherals. I decided to record it through Decky Recorder. Everything went well for a good while, and it was looking like I was going to finish the game and finally be able to put this to rest. But no, I don't get happy endings. One day, I went to show my cousin the game because it was cool, and when I loaded it up, it's gone! No! It's gone! My save file was gone, and just like that, the video was canned for a while at least. It took me almost 3 weeks and an update video to want to come back to this. Eventually, I did come back. I said, you know what, fuck it. If I make this video, even if it's the last thing I do, well, okay. It wasn't that dramatic. It was more like, I don't want to give up on this fucking project. I was so close to finishing it. So, that's what I'm here to do. Anywho, onto the final production you've all been waiting for. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I haven't uploaded in a while, but I hope this makes up for it. I wanted to try and make a much higher quality video, and here's the result. I'm going to be reviewing and analyzing my favorite ROM hack of all time, Super Mario Star Road by Skellex. A little backstory. When I was younger, I found this mod through a Nathaniel Bandy video about it, or so I thought. Whilst doing some research for this video, I found I had actually watched a long play almost a year before the Nathaniel Bandy video came out. This video is what got me into Star Road / SM64. When the Nathaniel Bandy video came out, it reinforced that idea. I loved the Nathaniel Bandy video, and I discovered it at the perfect time when I was playing through SM64 for the first time on the Wii Virtual Console. When I was playing the game, I would look up tutorials because I didn't understand some of the stars and objectives. So that's how I discovered the game. I watched the video over and over, just hoping one day I'd be able to buy it on the Wii shop and play it. Unfortunately for me at the time, I did not know this was a ROM hack, and I could not technically play it on a Wii.